News channel.
Welcome to Lee Anderson's Real World. Tonight on the show we have political commentator Chloe Dobbs. She's going head to head with former Labour MP Stephen Pounds. We've got pumpkin farmer Jonathan Lucas and Test match cricket legend Matthew Hoggard. But first, let's go to the news.
Good evening, it's 7 o'clock. I'm Katie Bowen in the GB newsroom. A new poll has found that the public overwhelmingly backs the King's decision to strip Andrew of his Prince title, as Buckingham Palace announced that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been struck from the official roll of the peerage. Buckingham Palace says his name had been struck from the roll after the King took the decision to formally strip his brother of his Prince and Duke of York titles and HRH style, a move that effectively ends his public life. 79% of Brits say that King Charles made the right call, while 58% of those polled feel that the royal family moved too slowly in dealing with the controversy. Andrew will be evicted from Royal Lodge, although palace sources suggest he won't move immediately because of the lengthy process of giving up his home. It comes as Buckingham Palace moves to contain the scandal over Andrew's ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Elsewhere today, Sir Keir Starmer has told Rachel Reeves she faces no further action over her inadvertent failure to obtain a rental licence for her South London family home. The Chancellor previously admitted to mistakenly breaching local council housing rules by failing to secure a selective licence for the property when it was rented out following her move to Downing Street. She initially said that she was unaware of the requirement, but emails between her and her husband to the letting agency published yesterday showed he'd been shown information about the need for a licence. But estate agents Harvey and Wheeler took blame for the oversight in not applying for a licence on her behalf, despite having agreed to do so. A double murderer who stabbed his pregnant girlfriend 23 times after being released from prison on licence has been jailed for at least 42 years. 32-year-old Alana Odysseus was murdered by 47-year-old Shane March at her home in Walthamstow, East London in July last year. March admitted her murder on the 7th day of his trial after an expert no longer supported his claim of diminished responsibility. Jurors in his trial were not told that March had been convicted of murder before. An Iranian small boat migrant is still in the UK 2 weeks after arriving back across the Channel from France. He arrived in August and was deported back to France on the 19th of September. But just 29 days later, he paid for a place on another migrant dinghy and arrived back in Britain. It comes as the Home Office reveals just 75 illegal migrants have been returned to France since the one-in, one-out return scheme became operational on the 5th of August. And 3 Just Stop Oil activists who sprayed Stonehenge with orange powder have been cleared following a trial. 74-year-old Rajan Naidu, 23-year-old student Neve Lynch and 36-year-old Luke Watson took part in the protest a day before last year's summer solstice. The 3 climate activists were found not guilty of criminal damage after citing human rights law in their defence during a 10-day trial at Salisbury Crown Court. Those are the latest GB News headlines. Let's go back to Lee.
Take the GB News family with you on any device. As long as you have an internet connection, tune into GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond.
Welcome to Lee Anderson's Real World. I'm Lee Anderson, the Reform UK Member of Parliament for Ashfield, and we've got a Halloween special, a spooky spectacular. We have the very lovely Chloe Dobbs, political commentator and just generally nice, decent lady. Thank you, Chloe, you're looking amazing tonight. And he's
so
back.
Are you.
Well, thank you. He's back, our left in the corner, a very, very scary Mr. Stephen Pound. He's over there.
Happy Halloween.
Don't you think he looks like Uncle Fester? Is it Uncle Fester? Is that the Munsters? No, is it the Addams family, isn't it? Uncle Fester. Anyway, keep your hat on, Steve. You look like some sort of scary, unhinged Morris dancer.
Thank you, Lurch.
But what we're going to talk about today, guys, is the upcoming autumn statement. Is Rachel Reeves going to do a massive U-turn on the manifesto pledges and increase taxes? Chloe?
I think so. I think it's going to be a very scary autumn statement, a bit like Halloween. I think that there's a very good chance that they are going to break their manifesto pledge on income tax. We are hearing that the OBR are downgrading their productivity forecasts even more. Rachel Reeves, clutching at straws, has held some investment summit to try and show that things are all okay and they don't need to do so, but it's not looking good. And I think you can see there's been a bit of a change of tone from the Treasury, from we won't break the manifesto pledges to we'll try our very best not to do so. And they're desperately trying to put in all these niche little taxes. We're hearing about them raising taxes on betting on horses, for example. They're trying to tax the rich, but it's not really working because they all just flee to Dubai. And I think there's a good chance. And they can't cut spending because look what happened when they tried to cut just 5 billion quid off the welfare bill. Huge rebellion, and with a huge majority of MPs, they still couldn't make the changes.
Well, obviously, Rachel Reeves is not here to defend herself, but what we have our very confused-looking left in the corner, Mr. Stephen Pound. Come on, Stephen, are you going to defend us?
Lee, let's get a couple of things we can always agree on. Firstly, there's absolutely no point whatsoever in speculating a month away from the budget. You know, we can speculate.
What a cop-out. What a cop-out.
Everybody in this country wants to have excellent services and low taxes. You cannot have both. But thirdly, and I think that where I think there is some room for discussion here, is that the welfare budget is out of control. It's exponentially growing. Therefore, inevitably, there will have to be some cuts in the welfare budget. And that is going to be very, very painful. Painful because, obviously, welfare spending is in the DNA of the Labour Party. But if you actually look at the cold reality of it, we can wait for the economy to grow. Yeah, maybe inflation has stabilised, maybe there's certain green shoots. But the fact is, we cannot afford the present level of public services on the present level of income.
Well, what a long-winded non-answer that was, Chloe.
Well, it's the best I could do.
Dodged it completely.
Yeah, tried to dodge it and then admitted that the welfare spending is completely out of control. It's completely unsustainable.
Do we not agree on that?
Yes, we do agree on that. But what's the solution to it? Can we tax our way to growth and just tax? No, because we're in this horrible fiscal doom loop where we raise taxes, then the growth forecasts get downgraded because, surprise, surprise to the Socialists and the Labour Party, if you increase taxes, businesses don't grow as much, don't invest as much, don't hire as many people. And then they go, uh-oh, we need more money, we'll have to raise taxes again. That's exactly what's happened, because when they did the budget last year, Rachel Reeves promised us, oh, this is just a one-off budget, one-off load of tax hikes, and then we'll fix the foundations and all will be hunky-dory next year. No, it doesn't happen. And they're in denial. I mean, at PMQs this week, Keir Starmer was boasting again that we had the fastest growth in the G7 at the start of the year and cherry-picking these statistics. Let's be clear. I mean, we've got the highest borrowing costs in 27 years, worse than Greece, worse than under the Liz Truss debacle. We're spending a huge amount on debt servicing, a huge amount on welfare spending. Our borrowing from April to September was higher than the OBR had predicted, so we're splashing more cash than was even planned to, and it's just completely out of control.
Stephen, you spoke about the welfare budget. Yes, it has to come down, but do you think the Labour backbenchers will vote for that?
I think, in all reality, when you actually look at the cold, harsh facts of life...
He's going to dodge this one for about 2 minutes. Come on, give us an answer, Steve.
Come on, Lee, let's just a couple of things. Firstly, there are some signs of stability. Don't forget, we've now got the pound against the dollar is best it's been for years. The FTSE is up in the 90s when it's in the 60s, not that long ago. But when you actually... I mean, can I just refer you to the...
Is this a yes or a no?
So can I just refer you to the Reform press conference earlier on this week when they actually talked about reducing personal independence payments? It's those sort of areas where... And I think you have to go beyond this, alarm clock versus anxiety cliche to actually say, what are we doing? Are we actually not helping people into work? And that is the crucial area. And Lee, I think can all sensible, rational people agree that we're spending too much money on keeping people too long on the unemployment?
So this is the second question to you, Stephen, and it's the second long-winded non-answer. Will the Labour backbenchers support benefit cuts?
I'm not a Labour backbencher anymore.
Oh, no, they won't. I can answer that for
You've got an
him.
opinion.
Yeah, sorry,
You
well, hang on a
already-
second. I did. When I was a backbencher, we cut the lone parent benefits, you know, and I did it because it was for the good of the country. You have to do these things sometimes.
OK, that's to do
They
with
tried to cut 5 billion quid off of a welfare bill that is expected to balloon to possibly even 100 billion quid a year. We're hearing some figures between 70 billion and 100 billion, which is completely insane. And also, you've spoken, Stephen, about the need to help people get working again. Well, it doesn't really help when you've had Rachel Reeves hike up national insurance on employers, hike up the minimum wage such that all of the sort of jobs that you would do as your first job that are typically minimum wage, whether it's working in the supermarket, working in the pub, working in the cafe, those places, they're all firing people. They're not hiring more people because they're looking and seeing, right, I need to find tens and tens of thousands a year extra. I'm this small little business, so I'm going to have to fire this many people, cut back everyone's hours. So how are we meant to get Britain working as they promised us?
Stephen, is this Labour government, is Rachel Reeves good for business?
I think she's good for the country, and by that means she's good for business as well. Of course she is. Look, the point is, when you talk about fixing the foundations, that's not just some specious comment you just throw away. It's actually important. You talked about, and Chloe quite rightly referred to the debacle of the Liz Truss. To recover from those horrors in less than 18 months is an incredibly difficult task. Now, I'm not going to blame the past forever, but you have to accept the fact that we needed to actually fix it and get some stability into it. And I think Chloe actually makes a fair point about entry-level jobs, you know, and I think that's a point we need to actually look at. But don't forget, one of the biggest bumps on the road we face in the next 4 weeks is the idea of the two-parent benefit cap, you know, the child allowance. There's a huge, almost a tsunami of emotion on the Labour benches to actually raise that. Now, that is going to cost billions, and that's where I think there's going to be a huge...
So they're not going to cut the benefit bill then, Stephen?
I think
they're going to raise it?
You know, why speculate? It's pointless, it's sterile. Why on earth talk about it now when we're a month away from it?
Speculation is part of a debate, Stephen. Surely you know that.
Yeah, no, I've got...
Chloe,
You just don't want the debate because you know you're going to lose it. Exactly. So, I mean, look, you cannot tax your way to growth. That is the reality, Stephen.
Well,
we've not fixed the foundations with the economy. We haven't. You say, oh, we've sorted out the Liz Truss mess. They've done an incredible job. No, sorry. The gilt yield started recovering. The economy started getting better. Inflation. You know, one thing to the Conservatives' credit on their way out is they did manage to, well, with the Bank of England's help, bring inflation back down from when we had that scary double digits and get things back on track. And now we're seeing inflation going up and up and up. And that has a big impact on us as a country because we have one of the highest proportions of our debt in the world compared to other countries that is linked to the inflation rate. So when the inflation rate goes up, the amount that we have to pay just to service our debt, not to pay it off, but just to service it, goes up. And then when you've got you know, complete lack of faith in the Chancellor to get spending under control, sure, the gilt yields are extremely high as well. So our debt servicing costs are huge, and I just don't see a way out of this.
Inflation
with Rachel
is
Reeves
actually
running the
stable,
show.
Chloe. Inflation is stable. It is not going up.
Well, they were hoping it was going to come down, and it's the same. It's quite disappointing.
Okay.
It's been going up, and now the latest figure is that it's stayed where it's at when they were hoping it was going to come down.
Let's have a little bit of political honesty, Stephen, if there is such a phrase. I visit businesses most weeks in Ashfield when I'm back home, and they all say to me they have no faith in this Labour government getting us out of this position we're in at the moment. Why is it they're saying that, Stephen?
Well, I need to actually speak to them, but which government was the one which the businesses said, this government is absolutely brilliant?
Well, I've asked you 4 questions now, and you are refusing to answer basic, simple questions.
You're coming out with anecdotal stuff about... I don't speak to the businesses in Ashfield. I don't know any of them. But you just ask yourself, if they're unhappy with this government, what was the government that they were happy with? Tell me, what's the answer?
Chloe?
Well, I think people have been fed up with both the Tories and the Labour Party, and I think a lot of people, they gave the Labour Party a chance, thinking, or at least they might do something. The Tories were bad, we don't really trust Labour that much, but surely nothing's worse than the Tories. But they've proven to be an absolute basket case from the very start.
Well, they have,
They've been
Chloe.
here
So
over a year.
I'm going to try a different approach with our left in the corner. I want to give him a chance to redeem himself now. Stephen, if you was an advisor to the Chancellor, what sort of advice would you give to Rachel Reeves before the autumn statement?
And actually look at the budget starting from base one and just say, where's the actual base point of all expenditure? And look at every single item on that list and actually say, stop one department trying to outbid the other and just say, where do we stop? Do we absolutely have to spend money on every single item on that? Start from the lowest base and work up.
I mean, there's loads of rubbish that we're still spending money on. So we just found out that we're spending 100 million quid, for example, on promoting family planning in Pakistan, spending a load of money for condoms in Pakistan. We just found out that the Met Police, who are crying out saying, well, we haven't got enough officers, they've got 5 million quid to spend on 64 new DEI employees. I mean, the list goes on.
That's not true. We're not spending £100 million promoting contraception in Pakistan.
Yes,
Come on, substantiate that.
Okay, so it is 74 million quid.
Well, you said 100 million.
No, the whole scheme on promoting family planning in Pakistan is 111 million quid.
But we
Part
don't
of
pay
that is 74 million
World
quid
Health
on promoting
Organisation
the
money.
sale of contraceptives in places like pharmacies.
There you go, Stephen.
Yeah.
There's 100
Read
million
up,
pounds
Stephen.
straight away.
If it was true, we could talk about it. It isn't true.
It is.
That's quite a wild accusation.
It's been all over the press.
All over the press. Stephen,
Yeah.
final question.
Yeah.
Is Rachel Reeves doing a good job?
I think she's doing a decent job at the moment, yeah.
Chloe said that with a straight face.
She's not doing a good job at all, but she is. The markets actually want her to stay there because they recognise there is so little talent in the Labour cabinet that everyone else there would be even worse. I mean, could you imagine if someone like Ed Miliband was running the show?
Yeah.
They know that anyone else would be even more fiscally irresponsible.
So the
than she
talent
is.
pool is so shallow. Do you think there's room for Stephen Pound to make a comeback?
I mean, maybe. I think they're quite desperate. I mean, Rachel Reeves' job might be on the line as well because we've just found out that she couldn't get the right licence to rent her house out, where she's making a hefty 3.2k a month because she's got a free place to stay now.
That was a low blow to our pensioner. I mean, our left in the corner. Stephen, do you want to come back on that one?
I'm speechless, mate.
Well,
Do you want to defend Rachel Reeves' failure to get the right licence?
I'm happy to talk about Southwark Council and the idea that certain properties in the London Borough of Southwark actually have to have a licence and certain other properties don't. And when you hand your property over to a lettings agency and they don't tell you anything about you have to be in this street, not
guys,
that
there
street. Come
you
on.
go. There you go.
You know,
A rather confused.
play the ball, not the man,
Stephen
mate.
Pound
Yeah.
defending the indefensible once again.
Yeah.
Coming up next, we've got Real World, Real People with pumpkin farmer Jonathan Lucas.
Mornings don't have to be tiresome, especially if you have the right company.
Wake up to news as it happens, opinion and debate, and of course, a little bit of entertainment too.
Because when the kettle's on, we're on.
That's Breakfast on GB News, a show worth waking up for.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
We'll spread the news, you spread the word.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Only on GB News.
It's time for Real World, Real People, and I'm joined by Jonathan Lucas, who is a pumpkin farmer. You're the first pumpkin farmer, young man, that's ever been on this show, and it's quite relevant because we're coming up to Halloween, so you must be doing an absolute bomb at the moment.
It's our busiest month of the year.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a big part of the business, and people absolutely love Halloween. We grow a lot of pumpkins, we do big displays, we grow over 100,000 pumpkins, and we have 30,000 on display at any one time. We have actors, we have scary tunnels, themed food, and it's just great music, and yeah, lots going on.
So how long does it take to grow a pumpkin from start to finish?
We plant around 7th of May, sort of end of the first week in May, and we start harvesting mid-September, so they're really quick to grow.
Okay. And what sort of problems, you know, pest-wise, insects, the stuff that damage your crops?
Yeah, I mean, we get trouble with rooks, we get trouble with slugs. Weeds is the big thing, more than pests, so they're quite hard to keep clean.
Yeah.
But we rotate it on the land, so every 7 years, we get a 7-year break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, pumpkins are a decent food as well, but we seem to forget in this country that they are a food. What percentage of your pumpkins do you think are used just for Halloween?
Well, a lot of people do scoop them out and make soups, and we actually sell soups and curries in our cafe and restaurant.
Yeah.
The squashes are nicer to eat, in my opinion, than the winter squashes. We do a lot of those. So we grow about 72 varieties of pumpkins.
72?
72 varieties of squashes and pumpkin. You didn't think there was that many.
Are they different flavours, are they?
Yeah, well, the squashes are different flavours, and the best eating ones are sort of kombucha and harlequin and lightning. They're absolutely beautiful, and you just roast them in an oven with a roast dinner. Absolutely fantastic. I think people, going back to your question, I think people try a bit of pumpkin, have a bit of pumpkin, but it isn't all eaten, but they have some of it.
I think the only pumpkin I've ever really had is pumpkin soup.
Yes.
I've had that before. That's quite nice. So can people just pop along to your farm and pick these themselves, can they?
We display them, so we put them out, we pick them for them, and we put them into a dry area. Because this time of year can be so wet and miserable, we lay them out in a lovely dry area, and we make a display of them so they can go and pick them without getting muddy and choose what they like.
So you're a pumpkin specialist, a pumpkin farmer. What sort of advice would you give to responsible parents watching this tonight who's bought their kiddies a pumpkin and are going to scrape it out and put the eyes and the teeth in and put a candle inside? What sort of good advice can you give them?
Well, try some of the pumpkin. Enjoy doing it's a family event, you know, doing it with the kids, cutting it all out, having fun, you know, doing stuff with them like that, which is most of our customers are young families.
Yeah. So. But of course, I mean, this sort of Halloween tradition is like ballooned, hasn't it, over the past 20 years or so, I think, and most of this has come from place I've just recently visited, America. They go mad for Halloween over there. Why is it? Why are we copying them? We've got our own traditions.
It's strange, isn't it? We seem to copy them with everything. Now, Halloween, from what I understand, started here in the UK, but we didn't really pick it up.
I think a lot of it was in Ireland as well,
yes,
from what I read.
Yeah, that's right. And then America just took it on, and it's all about the fall, and it's about this autumn festival. And I was in Chicago 2 years ago looking at what they did. I was in Canada this year with Nefan, with our group of farm attraction farmers, looking at what they do and picking up ideas and just enjoying the experience.
So obviously you've just picked these once a year. It's just one season a year, is it, for growing these?
Yes, that's
right. What
right.
do you do the rest of the time on your farm?
So we also grow soft fruit, so strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sunflowers, we have a sunflower festival. We have beer festivals, which you might like to come along to.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, we have various events going on. We also grow wheat, winter wheat. The price is absolutely horrific with that at the moment, so we're losing money on that. But luckily, we've diversified enough.
Good.
We let some commercial buildings, and we can survive.
Fair play. And we obviously had a lot of farmers on Whitehall over the past year or so, been down demonstrating, been down with the tractors. We've spoke to quite a few of them.
Yeah.
To be actually, as politicians, they're quite furious with the inheritance tax. Is that going to affect you and your farm?
Of course, yeah. It's going to affect every family farm, and we're a dying breed, family farms, which is incredibly sad. I'm 5th generation where I am, and I've got 4 boys, so very much hoping for a 6th generation.
Yeah.
What it means is that I'm going to have to gift this land.
So in plain English, because not everybody understands how this affects farmers. So in plain English, just explain it.
Well, the easiest way to explain it, we're only a 250-acre farm, but if I explain it in numbers, if you're a 1,000-acre farm, that would have been worth about £10 million with a house on it, which sounds an awful lot of money, is an awful lot of money. But you're actually making about, well, at the moment, you're not making any profit at all, but even in a good year, you're not going to make more than 50,000. You've got to live off that as a family.
Yeah, yeah.
With this 20% tax that has come in, you would have to, if I died, me and my wife died, the children would have to pay £200,000 £2 million tax. They'd have to pay £2 million tax. The only way they could raise that is by selling 200 acres of that 1,000 acres.
Wow.
So that farm will then decrease, and then it becomes less profitable. Do you see how it kind of works?
Yeah.
And what's going to happen with these family farms, generations and generations of blood, sweat and tears, is that they're going to be bought out by big, quite often foreign money, rather than the family farm.
You are guardians of our countryside as well, aren't you? You look after the countryside for us.
It wouldn't look like it does if we weren't farming it and actually trying to make a living from it and providing food, which no one seems to value enough.
So we have an autumn statement coming up. Rachel Reeves will deliver a financial message to the country. What sort of message do you want to hear delivering to you farmers?
Well, I think it's not just farmers. I mean, she needs to... The Labour Party don't seem to like farmers very much. They're not treating them very well. But all business, I mean, it doesn't matter what business you're in, and I'm actually in hospitality as well as farming, but we are being smashed. And there is no incentive to run your own business. It's getting harder and harder.
But of course, Rachel Reeves or the Labour Party or Labour government would say that they are doing their very best to support farmers and support the hospitality industry. But Jonathan, that's a great discussion. Thanks, my friend. Coming up next, we've got Right versus Left.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. The showers are set to continue over the weekend, but plenty of decent sunny spells in between, though it is going to remain rather breezy. And it's all thanks to low pressure, often situated to the north or northwest of the country, at times dragging in frontal systems, also plenty of isobars on that chart, so it is going to remain quite blustery. Some quite heavy downpours of rain at first across parts of Wales, southwest England. These will push northwards into parts of Scotland, northern England, also parts of East Anglia and southeast England. Some quite heavy downpours associated with these areas of rain, possibly even some hail and thunder and some very blustery winds too, but that does mean it should hold temperatures up, so a fairly mild night. Many towns and cities across the south remaining in the low double digits. Nevertheless, though, as we head towards the weekend, it's going to be a very unsettled start, particularly across Scotland. Heavy showers continuing, these merging into longer spells of rain. Still very blustery to start the day too. Perhaps a little brighter across Northern Ireland, though we can't rule out some showers around coastal areas. But many areas of the west across England and Wales will see these showers continue, perhaps a little brighter across parts of the southeast. Saturday, we will see quite a mix in conditions, but the longer spells of rain will eventually clear Scotland, so it will turn a little brighter, but once again we'll see a mix of showers as well, and still these could be heavy with some hail and thunder, and it's still going to be quite blustery, very blustery in fact around exposed coastal areas. Not feeling quite as mild as this afternoon, highs reaching around 15 degrees Celsius. Now for Sunday, once again further showers, particularly across the southeast to start the day, and then more and more scooting into parts of Scotland as we progress through into Sunday. But you can see from the chart behind me there's going to be a bit more sunshine around on Sunday, though once again can't rule out some showers. Still fairly breezy, and that remains the theme as we head into next week, though things should start to feel that little bit milder.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
It's time for Right versus Left with Chloe Dobbs and Stephen Pound, and distressing news just come in. Stephen Pound was talking about his legendary marrows during the interval, weren't you, Stephen?
Well, to be honest, it's been a very good year. I mean, my courgettes have been the talk of the allotment. It's been they just have not stopped growing. But my marrows, I mean, they would make your eyes water. Something. They are magnificent, though I say it myself.
Well, there you go. That's Stephen's marrows out the way. Anyway, guys.
I'm making some marrow jam out of them too. It's the first time I've ever made marrow jam.
Sounds disgusting.
Breaking news, isn't it, marrow jam? Anyway, shall we be serious for 1 minute, Stephen?
Yeah.
This week we saw another illegal migrant, and I described him on GB News earlier this week as a creature, somebody who's committed awful crimes on women in this country, deported, and he is a creature. Decent human beings don't do this, but he's been deported, been sent back to whence he came, Chloe, and we've actually bunged him 500 quid for the pleasure. Is that acceptable?
Absolutely not. So first of all, this wasn't part of the plan, and then apparently he started kicking up a fuss when they tried to put him on the plane, and he basically blackmailed them into giving him 500 quid. Also, they sent 5 guys with him to escort him. I mean, how much money are we splashing on this guy? Now, 500 quid, you might think, oh, we might need a little bit of money to get on his feet when he gets to Ethiopia. But then you look at what the average wage is in Ethiopia, 35 quid a month, right? So you do the maths compared to the UK average salary. We've given him the equivalent of like 44 grand essentially in UK money. He's got more than the annual wage in Ethiopia. He's going to be living the high life when he gets back home. It's unacceptable.
2 things that really strike me home about this. Firstly, the victim has got nothing. The victim and her family have got nothing.
They've got some shocking memories, Stephen, haven't they?
Well, I'm sorry, yeah, they've got a traumatic, a horrific memory. And it wasn't just the one girl, it was 3 or 2 girls and a woman who were affected by it. The second thing, when he got escorted from the door of Chelmsford Nick, he was given his discharge allowance, which was about 96 quid, I think it was. And he also had a few £100 on him anyway. Now, I have to say...
He got himself a nice tote bag.
Well, he bought himself a tasty puffer jacket, if you remember, and a new pair of trains. But look...
It's cold sleeping in Finsbury Park.
Well, your experience is more than mine in this particular area, but as far as I'm concerned, when I heard that they'd given it, I mean, to be honest, mate, I would have had a whip round just to get him out of this country, because the sooner we get people like that out of this country, the better.
But this is taxpayers' money, Stephen. Yeah. This creature has come into the country...
If you had 5 people to escort him. Is it really that hard to contain him and make him sit on the plane when he tried to get off? You don't need to hand him 500 quid to make him sit on the plane. Hold him down if you need to.
Sorry,
the guy is a predator that needs to be kicked out of the country. And as you say, he's got a bunch of cash already by the sounds of it.
We have the rule of law in this country.
Mercy.
Do you know, amazingly, and it's nothing to do with ECHR or the Commonwealth, he could have actually claimed asylum on the flipping tarmac of the plane.
How about this, Stephen? How about this for a cunning plan? Just ignore him, put him in cuffs, get the old leg irons on, strap him to a chair, a security man at the side of him, and take him to Ethiopia and then boot him off the other end.
Well, that sounds a bit like the Silence of the Lambs, if you remember when...
It sounds like common sense to me, mate.
Well, I don't think this country is ready for that Donald Trump type stuff, I'm sorry.
Chloe?
Well, look, I think that he was just kicking up a fuss knowing that he could get some cash out of us. He said that he wanted to go back to Ethiopia. Don't be under the impression that this guy was some sort of expert prison escapee like Daniel Khalif when he escaped from Wandsworth Prison. He stayed at the prison for approximately 90 minutes, going back and asking them over and over again, where do I go? I'm about to be deported. I want to go back to Ethiopia. And they just kept turning him away and eventually said, oh, that's how you get to the station. And then he didn't look like he was on the run, as they said. He was walking around the high street in Chelmsford.
He even nipped into the library.
I know.
He went to the library.
Was he taking a book back, Stephen?
I don't know.
Well, actually, apparently, someone who is a regular at that library claims that where he went upstairs, he was actually going to the children's section, so that's a bit concerning.
Oh, dear.
But another theory is maybe he was going on the computer to look up a hotel or somewhere to stay that night. I mean, it's unbelievable that it took them so long to catch. 25 hours to catch a guy that wasn't even running and hiding.
Well, and then they have the cheek. This is what gets me.
They said it was a fast-paced investigation.
They thank the authorities of the Met Police. Thank goodness sake, you've just let this man out. He's tried to get back into prison and said to them, put me back in prison ready for deportation. We've let him out again, and then they have the cheek to thank the authorities for acting so swiftly.
The worst manhunt ever.
Yeah.
Well, at least they found him. Thank heavens they found him. But he also turned up at the Premier Inn and he said, do I get a free night? But think, the guy's now a celebrity.
A free what?
A free bed for the night.
Is that what he said?
Yes, he turned up and he says, where do I get me free bed? But look, he's now a celebrity in Addis Ababa. He's down there. He's having the life of Riley down there. And I think it's... In years to come, people will refer to the Kibatu case as really almost the tipping point, I think, where in this country we just completely feel as though we've lost the plot.
Well, I mean, people have absolutely had enough, and we also had on the same day as we heard that Hadish Kibatu had accidentally been let out, we found out that a Sudanese migrant had been found guilty in court of murdering Rhiannon Skywhite, a mother of a 5-year-old who was working at a migrant hotel, just handing out snacks, being nice to them, followed her home after her shift and stabbed her 23 times with a screwdriver. Those are the kind of monsters that are coming in this country. Of course, it's not all of them, but if you're going to have no border control, you're going to have some bad apples.
Like now a weekly occurrence. And one of my...
Not even, it's almost daily we get...
and one of my big fears is we sort of get into a situation where we just expect it to happen.
God forbid we ever get to that situation. I think the case that you referred to...
We are in that situation where almost every day I expect to see a new
We're not surprised, obviously, when we open the paper.
Not of a murder, but of some sort of horrific, whether
So
it's
do you
rape,
agree with
sexual
me now then,
assault,
Stephen?
some sort
I
of
know
crime.
we've had this debate many times on this programme, that anybody crossing the English Channel or arriving here illegally should be detained and put in a secure camp and not allowed to roam our streets, ever.
I've said right from the beginning that we should do what they do in Holland. They actually process the cases before they leave the airport or they leave leave the point of entry. We should be. It's fair on legitimate migrants and it's equally fair on this country.
And what will that solve?
Yeah. Because there are certain people who are entitled to be here, and we should be actually welcoming that, as we always have in this country, as a decent, honest, welcoming country. There are other people who are wrong-uns, and we should be identifying them there, and they should be back across the water 24 hours.
Another wishy-washy answer that was.
Look,
I'm sorry, wishy-washy. They get me chucked out of the Labour Party.
No, but you make a point that we have been a welcoming country. We have done so much. I mean, this is the country that massively impoverished itself and reduced its GDP by like 40% to end slavery, for example. And we have done over the years so much to welcome people from hardship into this country. But there comes a point where we have to say we have to put our own people first. And anybody who is coming to this country should only ever be coming via a legal route. And for the sake of these people as well, because the horrific experiences they have with these awful smuggling gangs. So, I mean, the women, for example, if they try to come, they'll be raped as payment from the smuggling gangs.
You talk about wrong-uns coming in, Stephen. I mean, good word. I love that word, wrong-uns, 2 words, double-barrelled. But your glorious leader, Sir Keir Starmer, he's sort of made a career out of defending wrong-uns.
His job, he was a lawyer. You have a cab rank, a taxi driver.
You don't have to do it, Stephen.
We know that that's not exactly how it works.
I'm sorry.
Isn't it a coincidence that Lord Hermer and Starmer have defended so many wrong-uns, to use your words?
Well, I seem to remember Keir Starmer on a pro bono basis defending those McDonald's people who got accused. Do you remember that case of the McDonald's? He's done some good work.
Would you defend wrong-uns, Stephen?
Thank God I'm not a barrister or a solicitor.
Would you? Yeah. Simple question.
I think I would not be answering the phone on that day.
I might slip this one in the yes or no quiz, tell you what you reckon. Because he can't answer a question today, can he?
I know, I might have a chance in the yes or no quiz today.
He sounds like a politician. We're talking about the yes or no quiz. Got it here, Stephen, and I can't remember the last time you actually won this quiz. Can you?
I've got a hand.
Wrong answer.
He's
Wrong
done
answer.
He's done it again.
Chloe, it's yes or no, remember. Can you remember the last time Stephen Pound won the yes or no quiz?
No.
So she's already one ahead, Stephen. So the second question is, for Chloe, will Labour increase taxes at the autumn statement?
Yes.
Stephen?
No.
Chloe, should the Labour Party increase taxes?
No.
Stephen?
Yes.
There's no need for that, is there? OK, Stephen, should Stephen Pound join Reform?
No. No.
That's 2 no's, that's a wrong answer. Chloe, should Stephen Pound join Reform?
No.
And fifth and final question, should we give, Chloe, illegal migrants money to go home?
No.
Stephen?
Yes.
So, Stephen, you scored a pathetic 3, which actually for you is not bad. Chloe, you've got 5 out of 5. You just can't help yourself, mate, can you? What is it about this quiz that bamboozles you every time? It's a simple yes or no. He's looking confused, Chloe. Can you answer for him?
I think that...
The quiz is over.
Oh, I see. Oh, in that case.
This is where the problem, this is where it stems from.
Doesn't know when the quiz starts and ends.
It's elderly confusion.
It wasn't. We didn't get to a tiebreaker. You didn't do well enough to get a tiebreaker.
Have you still taken the tablets?
Listen, I must admit, I have to say, when you fire these at me, because I'm used to having a civilised discourse, and when you hurl these words at me requiring, I think this particular programme and these particular people deserve more than simply a monosyllabic yes or no. You deserve a loquacious response, actually using the full beauty of the English language. Is that not a noble ambition?
I mean, we've even used the word wrong'un today. We've done well on our vocabulary.
For people watching at home, just be careful. I mean, this former politician is not always serious. Are you, Stephen?
I keep thinking I've got to do yes or no.
I don't think he heard the question.
If I laugh at any mortal thing, it is only sometimes lest I weep.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's Friday night with Stephen Palmer. But coming up next, we've got Last Orders with former Ashes winner cricketer Matthew Hoggard.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
A lot of fine weather at the moment across southern Europe, but a couple of exceptions. Showery for Greece and rain for parts of Iberia. A narrow band of rain approaching Madeira, staying away from the Canary Islands, but pushing into Lisbon, where it's a wet day on Saturday, moving across central Spain into the south and middle parts of France. Meanwhile, showers across northern and the far south of Italy, in between some sunshine. Showers also for Greece, but the Greek islands looking reasonable next few days.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Only on GB News.
Bold. They are under no illusion. Ray. Are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline.
Should we be worried about it? From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What we're going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it? No, because you're deliberately avoiding my point.
Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Dubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Mornings don't have to be tiresome, especially if you have the right company.
Wake up to news as it happens, opinion and debate, and of course, a little bit of entertainment too.
Because when the kettle's on, we're on.
That's Breakfast on GB News, a show worth waking up for.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
We'll spread the news, you spread the word.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Well, that sounds like last orders at the barn. I'm quite excited this week because I've got a cricket legend here, a Yorkshireman, and you're a bit of a chef as well, aren't you? It's Matthew Hoggard, Ashes winner, England cricketer, played for Yorkshire and Leicestershire.
Yep.
But now you've turned your hand to something completely different, which is barbecue lessons. Is that right?
Yeah, we run a barbecue school, aptly named Hoggy's Grill.
Hoggy's Grill,
And,
after Mr. Hoggy?
After Mr. Hoggy.
Mr. Hoggy himself, yeah.
And I went to South Africa at 18 and fell in love with Brian. So they've got the outside lifestyle where they cook their food outside on real fire.
Yeah.
I fell in love with that lifestyle, and I finished cricket in 2013. I didn't know what to do, so I went into insurance, I went into foreign currency, and didn't like any of it.
Yeah.
And my missus said, you need to find something you're passionate about.
What, food?
And I said, eating and drinking. And
ticking some boxes, boy.
ticking boxes.
Ticking boxes.
And what better way to cook food than on fire?
So did you start from scratch, like learn yourself?
So yeah, I've got to say 18 to what I'm now 28. So I've been doing it 30 years. So I went to South Africa at 18. I'm now 48. So
wow.
30 years later, you be on lots of different courses. You go around different manufacturers of barbecues, and you trial and error.
Yeah.
You learn off other people.
yeah.
You do everything, and then.
Well, sometimes they do say, Oggy, that we are what we eat. Just looking up and down. But anyway, I mean, during your sporting career, when you was a cricketer, you'd have been a lot slimmer, eating different food, probably a different regime. Tell us about
that. To be fair, wasn't eating a lot of different food, but I was active. I went into the gym. I was on a cricket pitch 5 days out, and you burned the food off, so you didn't have to really watch what you ate. Yeah. And for the last 12 years, I've been putting things in and not burning them off.
Okay.
So that's why I'm now maybe 4 stone overweight or more, and it's time to take it off.
Yeah, it's time to take it off. But you're a Yorkshireman, and you play cricket for Yorkshire. It's a great honour for a Yorkshireman, isn't it, to play cricket for his
Massively,
county?
yeah.
Because back in the day, you had to be born in Yorkshire, didn't you, to actually play for Yorkshire?
Yeah, I was born back in Yorkshire. My mum and dad were in Pelsall. We moved back into Yorkshire, so I was born in the county, so I was allowed to play for it. But I was a late bloomer. 18, I wasn't playing for the academy, and I got a Yorkshire contract late on, and it just went really, really quickly.
So how does it work? Because a lot of young people playing these sports at school and that, they'd have played probably football, rugby and cricket, wouldn't they? Is that you?
Yeah, so at school, I went to a comprehensive school. I had a choice of football or football.
Yeah.
Wasn't my favourite sport, but I wanted to play sport, so I played football for school, and then in the winter I played rugby for my local rugby club, and then cricket for my local cricket club in the summer.
So when did it really start for you at cricket then? So when did that penny drop that you wanted to be a cricketer?
A big piece of luck. Phil Carrick came into Pudsey Kongs, who was an ex-Yorkshire captain, saw me playing third team and put me in the first team. And so I was 17,
Why did he do
18.
that?
He saw something in me. I don't know, because everybody else had overlooked me. I think it's because I swung the ball away. And he liked that, and he took me under his wing and put me in the first team. And then sent me off to see Richard Lum, who was in South Africa, who was the coach of the Pirates in Greenside in Johannesburg. And I spent 6 months in Johannesburg playing cricket with Richard Lum, and learning a lot about life and a little bit about cricket.
And what has cricket learnt you?
A lot of respect, you get along with a lot of people, a lot of teamwork.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky enough to go all around the world, looking at different cultures, being able to visit people, being royally looked after, and picking up little bits of them cooking tips as well. So
yeah, get that, yeah.
Stealing
and some
people's
tips
food
as well.
and some drinking tips, because there's a lot. You're away for 3 months at a time. You're away, so you have to let your hair down once in a while.
So, okay, who's been your most difficult opponent to play against at cricket?
Oh wow! Yeah. If you look at the batters, you look at Brian Lara, you've got Sachin Tendulkar, Chris Gale, you've got Ricky Ponting, then look at bowlers, you've got Shane Warne. But Australia, I would say, would be the team, just because of the Ashes.
The Ashes,
Coming up, isn't it, the Ashes? 21st of November. So it's the biggest rivalry. And when we played 20 years ago, when we won in 2005, that side that we managed to beat were full of great cricketers.
They were full of great cricketers. And obviously, I come from a cricketing area.
Right.
In Nottinghamshire, my constituency, Ashfield, was the home of, or the birthplace of Harold Larwood.
Nice.
Bill Bose, great cricketers, 1933 I think it was, the Bodyline series.
Quick into the body.
I think he was ahead of his time. Owen Harold. He's only a little man as well, you know. He wasn't very big, probably.
Like Darren Goff, he's only a small man.
I don't know about that. But listen, we've got a pint pot here, young man. We're going to get you to pull what's this one here? We don't know what it is.
It's Timmy Taylor.
That's him. Have I got that?
Taylor,
you've got to. It looked like you've done this before. You've got. And why are you pulling this pint, Oggy? I want to ask you. So pretend you've got your barbecue roast thing going tonight. You're outdoors in a nice warm climate.
Oh.
You've got all your meat, your barbecue's ready, you've got your wood pellets on or whatever you use. And you want to invite 3 cricketers, past or present, to come and have a barbecue with and chew the fat. Who would it be?
I would have to have Ian Botham.
Yeah. Beefy.
Yeah, because he's just such a brilliant legend.
Stick that on the bar now, mate. You can swap it if you want.
Oh, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Go on, Ian Botham.
Ian Botham, Shane Warne, and I'm going for Simon Jones.
Simon Jones. And what would you say to them, obviously?
What do you want to drink?
And what would Beefy say?
He'd have one of his wines, I would have thought, nowadays. Shane Warne, God bless his soul, maybe a vodka and tonic to keep the weighing down. And Simon Jones, what you give him?
Oh, you give him? You like that, is it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, mate, that's not a bad pint, is it, guys? I mean, the production team are looking at that and they are all nodding their heads in approval. That's probably a 10 out of 10. So, you've got your business.
Yes.
That's going great guns. I've seen your van outside. Hoggy's
Grill.
Hoggy's Grills. So what do people have to do to come to one of your training sessions, one of your cooking sessions? Is it all online to apply?
All on hoggysgrill.com.
Okay.
Nice and easy.
So
everything is bookable from there.
Okay. So final question. I'm coming to one of your famous barbecues tonight, your training sessions. What would be your quickest and best dish to bait that hook for me?
I think steaks, dirty steaks, directly straightly on the coal. So you're cooking direct on the coal.
On the coal.
Without
so they've got all the bits on.
Well, they don't get the bits. You got to brush all the bits off. Get your dry steak, and it gets lovely flavour through there. Put a bit of chimichurri sauce on afterwards.
Chimichurri.
And it'll melt in your mouth.
Melt in your mouth. Did you get that melt in your mouth? Okay, that's great. Matthew Hoggard, cricketing legend, and what a superb guy. That's on the pull. Thanks for joining me on Lee Anderson's Real World. Been another great show, some cracking guests, but coming up next we've got Friday Night with Matt Goodwin.
Well, on Friday Night with Matt Goodwin, I'll be telling you what happened when I went on to BBC Question Time to debate some of the biggest issues facing our country. And I'm going to tell you exactly what happened and what I really think. And we're going to be talking to a top expert about why East London offers a terrifying glimpse into our future. And we'll be debating Labour's plans to keep spending on welfare and letting out criminals early. That's in 2 minutes, Friday Night with Matt Goodwin.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office.
The showers are set to continue over the weekend, but plenty of decent sunny spells in between, though it is going to remain rather breezy. And it's all thanks to low pressure, often situated to the north or northwest of the country. At times dragging in frontal systems, also plenty of isobars on that chart, so it is going to remain quite blustery. Some quite heavy downpours of rain at first across parts of Wales, southwest England. These will push northwards into parts of Scotland, northern England, also parts of East Anglia and southeast England. Some quite heavy downpours associated with these areas of rain, possibly even some hail and thunder, and some very blustery winds too. But that does mean it should hold temperatures up, so a fairly mild night. Many towns and cities across the south remaining in the low double digits. Nevertheless, though, as we head towards the weekend, it's going to be a very unsettled start, particularly across Scotland. Heavy showers continuing, these merging into longer spells of rain. Still very blustery to start the day too. Perhaps a little brighter across Northern Ireland, though we can't rule out some showers around coastal areas. But many areas of the west across England and Wales will see these showers continue, perhaps a little brighter across parts of the southeast. Saturday, we will see quite a mix in conditions, but the longer spells of rain will eventually clear Scotland, so it will turn a little brighter, but once again we'll see a mix of showers